Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Carlton People. We've got the next gen on today, the next gen of the Carlton Football Club stepping up. We want to hear the perspectives from the past, from the present, and those of the future. So I've got Joseph with me. Now Joseph is 1/3 of the gents that you see from Back to the Bench TV. We're going to find out all about what's happening there, but let's just say g'day, Joseph. What's happening, bro?
Thanks, Terry. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, no, not much. Back to the bench, keeping me busy. Just finishing up the fan cams on the weekends. Great to get the supporters involved, and yeah, happy to be on the Blue Broad show with you.
Love it, mate. Love it. This is all fun. Carlton People's it's a good series because everyone's got a different experience. Like, they're very similar. Everyone's story is very similar about how they become a supporter and whatnot, but they're all very unique in their own right. But now we'll touch on that. But I do want to ask about Back to the Bench TV. So I met with Adam and Nick probably, I think it was a year ago, maybe a little less. I'm not sure. Anyway, and I remember that you guys were sort of talking about this idea of starting something and you wanted to have some fun with it. So for those who aren't aware, what is Back to the Bench TV?
So what we're all about at Back to the Bench TV, we're just fans that really just want to preach the game and showcase our opinion for the game. It started off, funnily enough, well, actually, me and the boys were very passionate Carlton supporters, and we started off in this flirting with these Facebook group chats, Carlton group chats, and it wasn't really working out for us. We're giving our opinions, and not a lot of people were respecting it, or we had our opinions, but we just wanted to showcase it on a larger scale. So we came together and thought, you know what, let's make a podcast, and we did. Got a lot of people involved. We managed to get Warwick Kappa. He was one of our first interviews that we landed. And from there, we got the likes of Bryce Gibbs, Lee Montagna, Paul Roos is coming on the show shortly. We just finished up an interview with Alex Johnson. So in summary, we're just an AFL podcast that review the games. We've got a Spotify, if you want a weekly Spotify, if you want to hop on board with that. Just showcasing the highlights, best players, and whatever the fans enjoy watching, really.
Yeah, so we'll have links in the description. This will go up on YouTube, so we'll have links in the description for those to check it out. But I've obviously met the boys and kind of been following you guys from afar and seeing how you're going, and it's quite remarkable how quickly you found your voice. And what you wanted to do with it. I think the first few episodes you were still trying to figure out.
Sure.
Mate, happened with me as well. There was kind of like, how much do I swear? How deep can I go with this? How deep can I go with that? And then I think once you got Kappa on, who was your second guest? Was that Gibbs?
I think there was one before that. I don't know off the top of my head. I think you got Ange Christou before Gibbs.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You did too. I feel like once you got Christou, then you had Gibbs. Then I noticed, all right, they've figured it out what they want to do. So it's good fun. And now you've been doing fan cams at the game. So we're talking Carlton games or just any AFL game you can get to?
So yeah, any AFL game. Just on Monday we did the Easter Monday clash against the Hawks and Geelong. So that was a good one. We just uploaded that video last night. It's again, pretty interesting one, pretty funny as well. Last week was our first one. That was at the Collingwood Carlton game, and yeah, we're just aiming for once a week fan cams. We're just gonna mix it up a bit, different crowd, different atmosphere, and we're just all about getting the fans involved. We want to hear the fans' opinions. The supporters are everything. That's what makes up the club. So, there's so many diehard supporters out there. Let's showcase them.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, awesome. Well, let's start with your club or our club. And I want to know, where did it all begin? How did you become a Carlton man?
It all began when I was born, mate. My dad was a very passionate Carlton fan. He saw a lot of success growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
And my brother and myself coming in to the world in the early 2000s. Yeah, that's when it all began, brother.
So there was no choice. It was, you're a Carlton family, and this
that's
is how it's going to be.
It's a Carlton family, and there was no choice about it. That's it.
I feel like that's how we'll be as well. Like when I have kids and when you have kids, it'll just kind of be the same.
Man, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm very grateful for it. I'm proud of my club, and yeah, we'll see how we go with it. Hopefully we get a premiership soon. I haven't seen nothing yet.
Mate, same. So how old are you now?
I'm 19 years old.
Yeah, you're 19. I'm 29. I'm 10 years older, and I have literally seen just as much success as you.
Yeah, it's sad, man. What can we say? It's sad.
You can, yeah,
Oh,
you have to laugh because if you
you
don't
got to
laugh, it's depressing.
exactly. Oh, you got to laugh it off, brother. That's all you got to do. I mean, I'm almost been in this earth for 20 years, and I've seen what have I seen? A 2013 elimination final against Richmond, and we finished ninth that year. So it is kind of sad to brag about, but
Yeah.
what can you do, man? Hopefully, we
So
see something soon.
yeah. So take me back to as far back as your memory goes. What's your first memory, whether it be like a little snippet watching a game or at the footy? How far does your memory go?
You know what, man? That's actually a really good question. One of my earliest memories, and probably the best memory I have, is I'll have to take you back to 2007.
Yep.
Was the game against Essendon where we were down at half time by 40 odd points, and Fev just put on an absolute clinic, kicked 8 goals, and we ended up winning the game by 3 or 4 points. I'm not sure, can't remember. But yeah, I was at that game. I remember sitting in level one with my dad and my brother, and oh man, I just remember Favola was my man. He was my idol growing up as well. And just to see him putting on a clinic like that, oh, it was just so good to watch, and I'll never forget it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my earliest memory.
You know, a lot of I'm sure your dad will have given you a lot of the memories that he has growing up, and a lot of the past generation, I'll call them. They'll always talk to me and you about, oh, you know, it used to be we used to go to games and we would just expect to win. I
Yeah.
think the
Oh,
closest thing we ever got to anything like that was Fev, because we knew that, and we had an expectation that, all right, we might win, we might lose, but you knew Fev was going to do something.
yeah, exactly. Like you went to the footy just to see Fev. He was always going to kick a bag. He was consistent with his 8 goals, 9 goals. He was just so exciting to watch, and he was my idol growing up. I idolized the bloke. Oh, so he was the reason why I loved Carlton so much, single-handedly, I reckon.
I
And
love
then Chris
that.
Judd came to the club in 2008, and that's where my eyes shifted towards it. Yeah, there you go.
So Fev's the first idol, and then Judd takes over
Juddy,
that.
yeah, Juddy was all. He was everything when he came to the club. Oh man, that guy. I reckon I always say it now. Looking back, I reckon he single-handedly changed the culture of the club as well, just with the playing groups and the fans. Just his professionalism, the way he went about it. He was just inspirational to watch, and he really got you believing, I reckon.
Yeah, it's funny because like now, 2021, I mean, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but a lot of people I hear talk about, oh, we've got to bring winners to the club, guys that know what it takes. And in a
Mm,
funny way, we did that with Judd. He brought winning standards and winning habits, and you're right, like it did make things a lot better for us. And games were totally different when he was playing, and we had a real presence about us. And obviously, it didn't work out. He got injured, and the rest of the boys didn't carry on, and that rebuild just didn't do what we hoped it would do.
no, just kind of
So
didn't get where we wanted to go.
yeah, yeah. What what do you see now? Like, what do you look? We're in 2021. What are your thoughts as to what's going on right now?
Brother, I don't know how to answer this question because you get hit with this question. I've been hit with this question for the past 10 years. Where do you see Carlton now? And it's just a constant. It's just been a constant rebuild as far as I can remember. So I mean, I feel like now we're finally, and our list is, there's no more excuses. Our list is where it's at. It's not young. We've got a very mature list. There's no reason why we shouldn't have success. And I believe that we're no longer in the rebuild anymore. So there's no more excuses for us to be a young rebuilding side to lose games. At the moment, I do not see why we cannot be contending in the top eight. I do not see why.
Mm.
So it's do or die for the Blues at the moment, and you know what? I would love to see us finish top eight this year, but it's not going to come easy. And you know what? There's no more excuses at the end of the day. So I'd love to see the Blues at the top eight and start
Yeah,
contending.
yeah. When I've done my like I don't know, research on the club, and when I've sort of tried to understand what happened, because my memory really kicks in from like 2005, pretty much when Murphy started playing and he was drafted. That was my first memory. Like that's when it really kicks in for me, and I remember every game. And it was
Yeah.
like the new era. We'd come out of salary cap, and it was disastrous. And as a
Mm.
kid, you don't really want to watch. I think when you're a little kid, if you're winning, you're interested. If you're losing, you're not interested. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that sort of period was like the Great White Hope. And I've had like a really good think about like the rebuild and how we did it back then, and we drafted all the gun midfielders and brought in Juddy and whatnot. Whereas this time around, I just feel like we've done it the long way. Like we haven't tried to take any shortcuts. Do you feel the same, or do you feel like we have taken shortcuts?
I mean, I don't think we have, man. We've
Yeah.
developed our plays. We developed Paddy Cripps. We're developing Sam Walsh at the moment. He's A grade. He's just upped the game this year. It's great to see. We've brought in Zach Williams. I wouldn't call it a shortcut. He still needs to do a bit more to convince me that he's a midfielder. I mean, obviously coming from the Giants, he played in the back line. I like to see him kick a lot more goals. I reckon he's capable of that in the midfield. No, I don't think we are taking shortcuts. We are doing it the long way. I can agree for that one. Yeah.
No, fair, fair. So do you feel like we've got one or two more players that we've got to add to this group, or do you feel
Oh,
like it's all there and it just needs time to, I don't know,
oh,
develop?
no, that's a good question. I do believe to some extent it is all there. I just think the boys need belief. They've been losing for so long, and I think they've just got this losing mentality that they just need to snap out of. You look at a team like Richmond, was it all there? They top up a few plays. They got Josh Caddy, they got Brescia to add to their midfield. Who else they get? They got a few little, herbs and spices here and there, but then they came together and they've got this winning soldier-like mentality. Like it's just all mentality. And the Blues, I mean, yeah, I just feel like they've been copying Alice for so long. The team's there, the structure's in place, you'd hope, by now. They just need to start building that chemistry and start winning games.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we need to add anyone at the moment. I mean, I feel like the talent's there, man. It's just we need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. You mentioned 2013, the elimination final. That would have been, I guess, one of your highlights of your Carlton life. What are some of the other highlight? I mean, I know there hasn't been a lot, but like every now and again, there is a game that that does stick out. What are some of the big Carlton moments for you that you think of straight away?
Yeah, no, definitely. I have to take you back a week before that 2013
Okay.
final. It was Port Adelaide. That game.
Yep.
Yeah, that massive comeback as well. That's definitely a standout. I actually watched it at home with a couple of mates and some family members, and the living room was turned upside down, mate. We just couldn't believe it. It was just that comeback from behind, especially in all the way in Adelaide as well. I remember just plays stick out in my mind like Gibbs, Murphy, Yaron, Garlett, Betts, their performance at Walker, Tom Bell, his goal to put us in front, Jared Waite. Oh, gee, what a game it was. Yeah, that's definitely a highlight. I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
I remember you've actually just reminded me of Tom Bell's goal, running from like
Yeah.
55, 60, and it just bounced through.
I'll never forget the commentary, mate. Never forget it. So it just sticks in your head, gives you goosebumps.
Yeah. What about the other end? What's like some of the lowest points you've seen where you've just really, I mean, they've taken us, in a funny way. I'm grateful that we're living through this where we see the bad before the good, as opposed to just being born into the success, which would be great. Don't get me wrong, but what are some of the things that when we do win a flag, you'll look back on and say, "Oh man, I remember how bad this day was."
Yeah, man. I'll have to take you back to 2015. Again, I think it was against the Hawks. We lost by 138 points at Etihad Stadium on a Friday night. I was actually at that game, and I just remember, I think that was just a turning point for me. Like, I was in denial about Carlton. Like, people were giving us shit. You're a Carlton supporter. You're always losing. I'm like, nah, we're a good club. I had a lot of pride. I'm like, nah, we're a good club. We'll get there. Don't worry. We're going through a little rough patch, because 2014, 2015, we started going downhill. And after that game against the Hawks, mate, my spirits were just crushed. Like, it was just, that wasn't the realization, mate. Oh, we're flat. We're down here. It's gonna take a while to get back up. And you know what? When we do hit that, when we do win that premiership one day, I'll look back at that day and I'll just think, yeah, look how far we've come.
I've actually forgotten about that one.
Yeah, mate, I won't forget about that one. That really hurt.
Yeah. The ones for me that stick out, losing to GWS when they had 17 fit players on the day, like at the end of the game, we lost by almost 100 odd. And then being down to Freo, we scored 7 behinds in the first half and they scored 77 points. And I remember I just remember how flat it was. Are you someone that you had enough? If they're losing badly, you leave early, or do you stay to the siren?
No, I do stay to the siren. I mean, that Hawthorn game, I stayed to the siren. I don't know why we did it. Yeah, no, you stay to the siren as you should, man. You mean at the end of the day, you're a Carlton member. You're there for a reason to support your team. You support your team. So, no, I do stay. I mean, if it does get a bit heated and it's against the Pies, and you don't want to stick around for those sterile supporters, you might duck off for a bit. But no, you stay. You stay for the ones that matter. So you look back and you'll think, you know what, I've been there through the hard times, and let's enjoy the good times now.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. You know, it's really interesting to talk to you, and you represent, you know, your age group and your demographic and all of
Mm.
that. Like, how do you feel at your point in the way you watch the game about the game? Like, do you like the changes that they're making, or are you a bit more of a traditionalist?
Oh look, man, I'm actually a big analyzer of the game. I've definitely seen how things have shifted. It's just like AFL, the game style in general. It went from a very small, very slow ball movement game to like a very quick, nippy, fast handballing game as it is now. I think the best teams that adjust that quickly are the ones that are going to win a premiership. Um, the Bulldogs in 2016, you saw then how they won their grand final. They were just a rapid team, man. Like they were just electric handballs. They just had this chemistry like no one could break. And I saw Luke Beveridge. I think he was on the front bar. He even called them out and said, they copied our standard, they copied our way. And then the pie, he's talking about Richmond. Richmond went on to win 3 flags, copying their game style. But yeah, how I look at the game now, yeah, it definitely changed, man. Like you go from seeing big body midfielders like I was talking on the podcast, like you go from seeing your big body midfielders like the Nathan Buckleys, the Michael Vosses, the Simon Blacks, well, you can go as far as back as like Diesel Williams. Great players in their day and age, but would they slot into a midfield now? I'm not sure if they have the same impact. They definitely will be good, but will they have the same impact? I don't know. Right now, we're seeing a lot of very quick, fast-paced endurance athletes. They're very fit. They can run all day, and yeah, the game's changing.
Yeah.
I like
No, I
it.
feel you. I feel you. I like it. I like it. Who are some of the players now in this group that you've really latched onto? Like you're something like, I mean, I know Cripps is always up there.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what I'll do? Who is your favourite player right now? We'll ask that
at,
first.
at the moment,
Yeah.
Sam Walsh without a doubt plays
Oh
with all his
wow.
heart, puts all
Yeah.
his grit into it. You can just tell he really cares about the club. You can just
Yeah.
he plays with emotion. He wants to win. He just comes straight in and had an impact, and I love the way he goes about it. Yeah.
Yeah. What about someone who's a little bit more maybe under the radar, a bit more low key?
Oh, a bit more low key. So I think, you know what? I reckon Zach Fisher's a bit more low key.
Yeah.
Unfortunately he's injured now, but when he plays, he just finds space where there isn't, and he's got this incredible sidestep and to find space where there isn't and kicks those goals that he does. And I reckon they've reinvented him as a small forward. I was a bit skeptical at the start with it, but I reckon it's working out for us if he can get back on the track. How long is he out for? 6 to 8?
Something like that. It happens. It's unfortunately with him, literally, fuck, this is year number 5 now, or I think. And I
Mm.
feel like 3 of the 5 years he's had like a long-term injury in each of them. It's always an ankle or something. It's a bit unlucky, but I love Fish. I think Fish is like the prototype modern day footballer. Just
Mm,
on the field because he's crafty, but also
exactly.
even the way he
Efficient as well.
interacts with fans. He's really good with fans. Like he's a gamer as well, so he's got a really high level of interaction with the fans. He can
Mm,
relate to a lot of people, and I just think he's a gem.
he is. All the best for his recovery. Hopefully, he gets back on soon. Definitely
Yeah.
need him.
Yeah, fingers crossed. What do you make of the mix between the old and the young? Do you think we've got the balance right? Because a lot of people talk about can't be having Betts and Murphy and Casbolt
Mm,
and these guys. Do you think you need older guys in the team, but not too many, or do you think you should just go all youth?
no, I mean, I reckon experience is everything, and that's exactly what Betts and Murphy bring to the table. In terms of playing and position wise, Murphy went from that, probably at one stage he was our number one midfielder. He's definitely not that anymore. I like to see him up forward. I feel like he can be very crafty at forward pocket, get creative. Eddie, he just brings that talent, brings that excitement. He's that type of player now. If he has 6 or 7 touches and kicks 2 goals, he has a huge impact. He gets the boys up and about. And I think at the end of the day, that's what young players they look to. They look for that experience. They look for that leadership, and that's what Eddie Betts and Mark Murphy bring to the table. So I don't see any problem with them playing. Like, yeah, these like young blokes need to get a go, but these young blokes need someone to look up to in game. And when the going gets tough, they look up to these blokes. So yeah, I reckon
That's
they're
all right.
balanced all
Yeah,
right.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think people sort of talk about play Stocker, play Cunningham, play Kennedy, and play McGovern in Murphy's spot in the half forward role. Whereas like when I think about like let's say Cunningham for example,
Mm.
I think he's 23 or 24 now. Um, can you honestly say that, or both of us, can we sit here and say, yep, Cunners is ready to play over Murph. He plays consistently enough, and he's earned the right. Do you think you just got to throw him in?
Yeah, no, I can't honestly say that Cunningham's earned the right. He's shown to be good. He had a good game against Eston last year, best on ground performance, but the next week, where was he? Exactly, he's not consistent. I guess it just comes to a level of consistency. If Cunningham can prove he's consistent week in, week out, yeah, he does deserve a spot over Murphy, but
Yeah,
time will tell. I mean, Murphy, let's be honest, how long does he have left? 1 or 2 years at the most, so
if that.
yeah.
All right.
Cool
So what about, I want to put this to you. So unlimited salary cap. Carlton supporters will know all about what unlimited salary cap means.
Yeah.
You're looking at you're looking at the competition. Who is someone that doesn't play for Carlton who, if you were the decision maker, you'd say, yeah, we need to go get him?
Well, we'll never get him, and you'll never agree to come to us, but Marcus Bontempelli. You'd love to have him in your team.
Mate, jeez.
You'd love to have him.
What would you do with Bont? Like, honestly, like we're living in fantasy now, but how would you actually play with him in the team?
I'd rotate him and Gibbs forward mid, just those two.
Cripps?
Forward mid. Him and Cripps, if I had him.
Yeah.
That would just be like that'll be good.
Fuck.
Forward mid. The opposition, how do you defend that? Like, what do you put on them?
Yeah. There were rumors there were some rumors, I don't know, like last year or the year before that he had talked about or talked to us, or there was an approach made. I mean, again, you know what we're like when it comes to off season. Rumors fly all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that one. Bont and Cripps, and then Zach Williams and Jack Martin rotating mid forward. I think that'd be handy. Yeah. So this rebuild, how is it going, and when are we lifting up the cup?
Oh man, I don't see why we can't lift the cup anytime soon. I mean, we saw Brisbane turn around. Why can't we be a Brisbane? Why can't we? I'd love to say by 2023 or 24.
Yeah.
I don't see why not, man. The team is there, Terry. I mean, what can you do? There's no more excuses, Terry. I mean, the team's there. We've got the players we wanted. We've brought in the Martins. We've brought in the Williams. We've got the Sards. We've topped up our team, so there's no more excuses.
I'm with you. I think the puzzle is there. Every piece. No, sorry. I think the pieces are there. I just don't know if we've put them all in the right spot yet for the puzzle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. What other things come up with you? Like, what are some things you think about when you talk about the club that either need improving or are just right? Like, what are some themes that you think of?
Oh man, I'm a big believer in mindset, and if you believe you're good, you're going to play like you're good. I think we're a bit far away from a team like Richmond, for example. They've just got this winning mentality, as I was talking about earlier. One soldier falls, another soldier comes in and just does the job. I don't think we're at that level yet. I just think our mindset, especially when it comes to winning, is weak. You watch the Blues now, and we could be up in the fourth quarter, then we just struggle. I feel like sometimes we don't know how to win. We get scared to win. I don't know what it is, and we would do like a silly mistake here and there in crucial moments, and it'll cost us the game. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just confidence or if it's nerves. I'm not sure what it is. I just think our mindset and belief needs to be strong. Has to be strong. That's the one thing. And the culture, that's just the one thing that we need to work on. And we just need to know how to win and be comfortable with winning. As crazy as it sounds, it's just how it is. I mean, the Blues, at the moment, they just get, I don't know what it is. They're just scared to win. They're just, especially when it comes to dying minutes of the game. It's frustrating to watch. I know you can feel my frustration, Terry. I mean, you can imagine how I am watching the Blues in that fourth quarter, just letting it slide. But a lot of supporters can agree with me on this one. It all comes down to mentality. They got to know how to win. They got to know how to win it.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think you, it's funny because we've been passed down the story of Carlton, and I feel like we do act like our parents and we think like our parents and our grandparents and our uncles and aunties. We just haven't got the experience to match with the way we think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, mate, it's been a pleasure. I really, really appreciate your time. Before I let you go, where can we? I'm obviously going to put links in the description below, but back to the Bench TV. Where is the number one place to watch, listen to you guys? What's the move?
So we've got a few platforms at the moment. The number one place at the moment would have to be Facebook.
Okay.
Check us out on our Facebook page at Back to the Bench TV. We've just started our TikTok. That's doing pretty well. If you want to have a good laugh, see some couple 30-second videos, get on our TikTok, B2B TV. And the main platform really is Instagram. Stay up to date with all our content and everything. You can't go wrong. So thank you very much. Yeah.
No, love it, mate. Well, like I said, appreciate your time. We'll be in touch over the course of the rest of our lives, I'm sure. And
Yeah, sure.
mate, go the Mighty Blues.
Up the baggers. Thanks for having me on, Terry.
You know it, brother.